Hello friends, in this video tutorial, we will show you how to implement Yajra DataTables date range filter in Laravel 10 framework with server-side processing of data by using Ajax. Under this video, we will give you sample example in which we will first load MySQL data in Yajra DataTables, and then after, we will implement date range filter by using Ajax with server-side processing of data. And under this tutorial, we will use Laravel 10 framework and date range picker plugin. Now let's start discussing this topic. So this is our testing database. And under this data tables, we will create users table by using Laravel migration command. Now first we want to download latest version of Laravel framework. So we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have goes to directory, in which we want to download Laravel framework. Now for download Laravel framework, we have to run this command. So this command will start download file. And here, we can see that Laravel 10 framework has been downloaded, and for use this version, you have installed PHP version 8.2, and here it will take some time for download all file. Now here, we can see that Laravel framework has been downloaded under date range filter directory. Now we have goes into this directory, so we have run this command. After entering into working directory, now we want to download Yajra DataTables. So here, we have run this command, and this command will start installing Yajra DataTables in our working directory. Now here, we can see that Yajra DataTables also downloaded. So, now we have opened Laravel project under text editor. And here, first we want to make database connection. So we have to open .environment file. And under this, we have to define MySQL database configuration details. So here in database name, we have to write testing. In database username, we have to write root, and in database password, we have to leave blank, and save this file. Now for create users table, in MySQL database, we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have to run this command, so this command will create required tables in MySQL database. So, here we can see that all database migration process has been completed. Now here in testing database, we can see that users table has been created. Now we want to insert some fake data under this table, so for this, we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have run this command, which will enable us for write shell code. And here, shell window has been enabled, and here we can write code. So here, we have to write user class with factory method. And after this, we have to write count method with 40 value, and lastly we have to write create method. Now here, we can see that 40 fake data has been generated and inserted into users table. Now here in users table, we can see that some fake data has been inserted into this table. So now we want to load this data in jQuery DataTables. So first we want to create user controller class. So here, in command prompt, we have run this command, which will create user controller file. Now here in text editor, we have goes into application directory, and under this, we have go to controller directory. So here, we can see user controller class file, and here we have to open this file. And under this, first we want to add user model class, so here we have to write use statement with application /model /user model class name. And after this, we want to add DataTables class, so for this, here we have to write use statement with DataTables, so it will import DataTables class under this file. Now under this class, we want to make index method for load views blade file. So here, we have to create index function with request variable as argument. And under this function, we have to write return statement with view method. And under this, we have to write views blade file name users, which will display HTML output in the browser. Now we have goes to resources/views folder, and here we have already created users.blade.php file. So here we have opened this file, and under this file, here we can see that we have already included Bootstrap 5 library, jQuery library, jQuery DataTables library, and Date Range Picker library. Now under this file, first here we have to write method tag with name is equal to CSRF token. And in content attribute, we have to write Laravel expression, and between this, we have to write CSRF token function, which will generate unique token value for protect from cross-site forgery attack. Now under this file, we have create one HTML table with id is equal to date range table. And under this table, we have create 4 column with name like number, name, email and created on. Now we want to load users table data in jQuery DataTable, so we have goes to JavaScript code. And here, we have to write table variable is equal to $selector with table id date range table. And after this, we have to write DataTable method, which will initialize jQuery data table. Under this method, first we have to write processing option, which is set to true. In second option, we have to write server side, and this option also set to true, which will enable server side processing. In third option, we have to write Ajax, and under this, we have to write URL option, and here we have to write Laravel expression, and between this, we have to write root method, and under this, we have to write users.index. So this code will make URL for send request to index method of users controller class. After this, we have to write columns option, and here we can define data in array. So in first array, we have to write data key, and value we have to write id, and name key, and in value, we have to write id. In second array, data key, we have to write name, and in name key, we have to write name. In third array data key, we have to write email, and in name key, we have to write email. In fourth array data key, we have to write created at, and in name key, we have to write created at table column name. So here, we have to define all column details. Now we have goes to user controller class index method. And here, we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write $request variable with Ajax method, so it will return true if any Ajax request has been received. Under this block, we have to write $data variable is equal to user class with select method, and under this, we have to write star. And after this, we have to write return statement with DataTables class with of method with $data variable as argument. After this, we have write add index column method, and lastly, we have to write make method with true as argument, so this code will send users table data to jQuery DataTable. Now we want to set root for this index method, so we have goes to roots class and open web.php file. And under this file, first we have include user controller class. And after this, here we have to write root class with get method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have to write users, and in second argument, we have to write user controller class with index method, and after this, we have to write name method. And under this, we have to write users.index. So by this name method, we can access index method of users controller. Now for check output, first we have goes to command prompt, and here we have run this command. So it will start Laravel server and provide us base URL of our Laravel application. Now here in browser, we have paste base URL of our Laravel application, and here can see Laravel framework homepage. After this, here we have write /users and hit this URL. So here we can see that users table data has been loaded in jQuery DataTables, and here we can see that pagination link has been automatically make, and search text box has been also automatically make. Here, we can see that we can easily goes to second page data with refresh of web page. And here we can easily search user table data by entering search query under this search box. Now we want to add date range filter under this Laravel DataTables. So for this, we have goes to users blade file. And here, we have create one division tag with it is equal to date range. And here under this tag, we have add some CSS property and add icon and create one span tag in which we will display start and end date. Now here in JavaScript code, we have to write start date variable is equal to moment function dot subtract function with two argument like 1 and m alphabet, which will return 1 month later date. And below this, we have to write end date variable is equal to moment function, which will return current date. Now for display start and end date, here we have to write $ with division tag, id date range with span tag. And after this, we have to write HTML method, and under this, we have to write start date variable dot format function with date format, and end date variable dot format function with date format. Now here, we have refresh web page, and after refresh of web page, here we can see that start and end date has been displayed. Now we want to display calendar also. So here, we have to write $ with division tag id date range with date range picker method. And under this, we have to write start date option, and in value, we have to write start date variable. After this, we have to write end date option, and in value, we have to write end date variable. After this, we have to write callback function with start date and end date variable as argument. And under this function, we have simply copy this code and paste here, so it will display selected start and end date. And below this, we have to write table variable dot draw function, which will refresh DataTables data. Now we want to send from date and to date data to user controllers, so here in DataTable code, we have to write data option with callback function with data as argument, and under this function, we have to write data dot from date variable is equal to division tag id date range dot data method, and under this, we have to write date range picker dot start date dot format method, and under this, we have to write date format. Below this, we have to write data dot to date variable is equal to division tag id date range dot data method. And under this, we have to write date range picker dot end date dot format function with date format. So it will send from date and to date variable data to controller with Ajax request. Now we have goes to user controller class, and here we have to write if statement and under condition. We have to write $request variable with filled method with from data variable. And $request variable with filled method with to date variable, so this condition will check. If both variable value has been received, then it will execute if block of code, and here we have to write $data variable is equal to $data variable with where between method with two argument. In first argument we have to write created a table column name, and in second argument we have to write $request variable with from data and $request variable with to date variable. So this query will make where condition for filter data from this to date range. So here our code is ready. Now we have again goes to command prompt and run this command. Now here in the browser, we have refresh web page, and after refresh of web page, here we can see that user data in jQuery DataTables, and above this, we can see that date range filter. Now we have click on this filter, and after click, here we can see that calendar has been popped on web page. And here, we can see that to calendar for select from date and end, so here we have select this date. And after this, we have click on this apply button, so here we can see that filter data has been loaded. Under this jQuery DataTable plugin, so by this date range filter, we can filter Laravel DataTable data. And then after, it will load this data under jQuery DataTables without refresh of web page. So in this video tutorial, we have show you how to load data in Laravel 10 DataTables with server-side process of data by using Ajax. And after this, we have add date range filter for filter Laravel DataTables data. So from this video tutorial, you will learn how to implement date range filter in Laravel Yajra DataTables. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for the complete source code and additional resources to further enhance your Laravel development skills. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more exciting programming tutorials. Thanks for watching and happy coding.